Hi, and welcome back to Score Connect. We are talking with Dr. Candace Warner, founder and CEO of People3. One of the things that we've been discussing is some courage and some bravery around having conversations, diversity, equity, inclusion, things that a lot of people have good intentions around, but maybe are scared because they don't want to offend somebody, they don't want to make a mistake. Sometimes it feels easier to just not have the conversations, but as we're growing a business, it becomes more and more important to not only have the conversations, but also to make sure that everyone within the organization has a very clear understanding of, we'll call it the stance on DEI, right? We want to make sure that as a company, we are setting a tone and maybe even something specific like a policy to make sure that everyone is on the same page and we can deal with situations a little bit better when they come up. How do you recommend somebody start to think about implementing a formal policy within their business?
Yeah, I have two answers to this. So I'll start with sort of newer businesses and how they can intentionally kind of create that sense of inclusion from the very beginning.
Nice, yeah.
And so one thing I would encourage all businesses to do is just look at their own motivation for doing this and like what speaks to them about this work. And really, as a new company, as a new organization, being intentional about your policies, your employee handbook. Sometimes people forget that's so important, just to look at your employee handbook. What does your website represent? Does it have images that are really reflective of the community that you're in, the customers that you serve? So I would say there's a couple things as a new business you can really start to think about, and just being intentional about creating a policy of not only discrimination and harassment, but just an inclusive, belonging space for that. And then many new companies might want to think about how they're sourcing candidates and their recruiting and hiring processes. So there's a lot of things that overlap with more established companies and newer. For many of our established corporations that reach out to us, they often do not know where to start. They want to do something. There's leaders may be passionate, or they may have internal employees that are really passionate. So I'll give you the shortest version possible of like our list. We have a list.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Go. Yeah.
So our first list is do the research on your own organization. So like a full assessment. So who are your employees? So demographics. We have organizations that say we're really diverse. Okay, great. Where are they though? So for example, if you have 20% Black employees, 10% Asian identified employees, the rest of your employees are like, where are they situated throughout the organization? So thinking—
You mean in we'll call it the org chart?
Yes.
Right, so not just like it's Bob, he's over there. Like, but you mean like where in the organization are they placed?
Yeah, are they leaders? Are they managers? Are they directors? Also looking at time to promotion. You know, what are some gaps that you might see in that? So looking at the demographics internally, we also have worked with some organizations that are expanding their demographic capture. That's a whole nother story, but you've got to really ensure you've got an inclusive workplace so people feel comfortable answering those questions. And then we typically come in to help assess that data. We'll look at policies that are already in place, any current inclusion initiatives, training initiatives. How's it gone? What's been the response? Do you have any internal groups that are already forming? And then we are really, because I'm a sociologist, we're really data driven. We do a lot of research. So we just finished our 48th focus group this year, so we do a lot of focus groups.
Goodness,
yeah, it's a lot. And so we truly believe our number 2 on the list is like talk to your employees. I've been in this space 13 years, and I have often seen employers go straight to, or organizations go straight to training. We need training. Well, what kind of training? Or is it going to resonate with your employees? What is really going to make a difference for them?
Well, and it's not just training can be good. Obviously, you have a whole company around you. But if you haven't taken the time to assess and listen to the people that you're training, it can come in and just feel like directive or lecturing. And if it's not resonating with them, they're not going to buy in.
Yeah, or if it's not applicable, if they're in a manufacturing and distribution area, or they're, you know, working it out on various engineering sites, like what is going to really resonate with them? And so we encourage organizations to take the time to do the research and hear from their employees. So that can happen through focus groups, and we have our own workplace inclusion survey that's specific to DEI. It's more than just employee engagement. So really taking the time to do the research and the deep dive. And then this is number 3 only because I'm just talking about it in order, but to me it's honestly like number 1. So important. leadership alignment. Leadership has to be bought in. They have to not only say, yes, we've got resources for you. Sure, you can have a budget, but really be involved. Show up for those activities and events. Be a part of the meetings. Help develop the strategy. That, to me, is one of the biggest markers of success for how DEI will really move forward, is when the leadership is involved.
Is really intentionally
intentionally pushing it, and not just for the sake of doing it, but really have that genuine buy-in, because quite frankly, your employee population will see through it if you don't. And we have an organization that we're so proud to continue working with. And just as a perfect example of that, their CEO is in almost every meeting we have. Like, it's intentional. It's and really has driven that effort. We look at them as a model, and thankfully they've also listened to us about how to do that model.
That helps,
and that helps. And so it's just such a great example, I think, of leadership alignment, and really just getting that true buy-in.
Yeah. And so all of that is good. And as a business owner myself, it feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I got to fully assess my company. When am I going to have time to do that? And then I got to go and interview all my employees. And how am I going to do that without offending people and understanding? Are there some key places or resources, a template, if you will, or some conversation bullet points, some things that could get people started where we can take a bite of this elephant, as opposed to like, well, in order to do it, you got to do everything. Like, where can I find something where it's like, okay, this is the first step, and then this is the next step?
Yeah. Fantastic question. Just hire us. We'll do it. We'll do it. You don't have to be a dog.
That's not the point of the show.
No, I know. I'm just
That's not at all. But yes.
Truly, but I will say, definitely do not feel overwhelmed by it. It is very common for us to take, 6 months to do this employee research and really take a deep dive.
So even with an expert involved, this could be a 6 to 12 to 18 month process.
Because you're having to coordinate so many groups, and I will also, again, not to sell here, but it is important to sometimes get an outside person to do it, because you really want to create that space for your employees to give you that feedback, and when there are questions about diversity and inclusion, to have experts answer them. So we do think that's really important. Think of it as a journey. It is a journey, and we've seen so many organizations, particularly since 2020, say we need to do something really quickly, fast. Let's get it all done. We've got to get all of this. It is a journey, and that is my biggest piece of advice: is be part of the journey. And the key to taking it step by step, not only from a bandwidth perspective, but from a resource perspective, because it does take a lot of resources, not only from the organization, but
time,
human capital, time, and financial. But to continuously communicate to your employees what you're doing, because we see a lot of organizations that are doing a lot. They're doing focus groups, they're doing surveys, and the employees say, what's going on? So just really communicating all the work behind the scenes, if you will.
So the effort is recognized, and then just being able to baby step your way into it. So start with one thing, make sure you're communicating, you're sharing that intention with the rest of your team so that everyone can buy in, and you're going to work through the journey together. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So we were just talking about time frame. Can you shore that up for me? So, you might take 6 to 12 to 18 months to work with a company. If they were doing this on their own, let's say some of our SCORE clients that are starting their own company, is this something that can take years? Is it ever done? Do we check that off the list and move on to something else?
It is never done.
Okay.
And it is a continuous
process.
Yeah. So big reveal. It's never done. And thank you for asking that, because I know it can be really overwhelming for people to think about it. And so what we recommend is just a starting point, and do the research, kind of see where you are, put some things in place, see how it goes. You're going to want to adjust. We like to see organizations truly find internal champions as well that can help drive these efforts and really be advocates for the work. In addition to if they already have a DEI officer or department or HR and their leadership. So really leveraging your internal champions too is great. And then I would just encourage any organization to also, if you are looking for a partner, to truly find a partner that's going to be with you on the journey. It doesn't always have to take 6 months to do the initial groundwork. So I don't want to scare anyone away, but the work really is never done. But depending on how large the organization is, for some, it can take that long because you're talking about, you know, thousands and thousands of employees that you want to get feedback from.
I think one of the things that I've loved about what you've shared today is that it feels more approachable and less scary to start these conversations, understanding that there is no right, there is no perfect. It's just a journey. So thank you so much. We'll be back after the break to share a little bit more information about where you can find some of these resources.